All right, Aquarius, I really love when natural shows up for you guys, but with growth, it's even better. Beautiful cards. So this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled natural, authentic, real, and organic. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled growth. Now, natural, the blessing says when you take away the trappings of money, power, status in the world, you are left with the things of spirit, and you are rich in the ways of the soul indeed. This creates a balanced, centered, strong core. And then working with this card says that there may have been an over-reliance on ways of identifying who you are. Whether you have categorized yourself by a job, your appearance, personality, or wealth and background, it is time to go beyond this to who you truly are and know yourself from the inside out. And then with growth, it's basically saying you're living your truth now, which is beautiful. The very first quote for this card I think is perfect for Aquarius too. It says, your message is best expressed when you are uniquely you. The inspiration says that this card says break away. It may be time for a change of scenery. Visit a foreign country, embark on a new enterprise, or learn a skill. Most importantly, grow. The personal question says, what have I outgrown? Am I willing to become independent? The key ideas are taking a stand, living your truth, clashing values, and teaching by example, which again I think is perfect for Aquarius. So you're being more natural, you're being more true to yourself, you're living your truth here with growth. You're becoming more independent, which is fantastic. All right, Aquarius, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Very nice. So working and showing off your skills and being recognized for it. The Three of Coins is a beautiful signifier. I like it in terms of, not just working with other people toward a common goal, but it's also, this recognition that's happening here for the work that you're doing. And with being more true to yourself, it's fantastic. And for a lot of you, this is going to be something new here, new project, new job. But either way, the Three of Coins here looks great. And then in the past, you have the Emperor. I like the Emperor, but when you're looking at the Three of Coins, the feeling between the two is, where you may have been like a little bit rigid in the way that you're doing things. I think now things are starting to change a little bit. My only warning with the Emperor and the Three of Coins is if you're working with people, you may have like your own set ways of doing things here. You have to be open, though, to, the ideas and suggestions of others. But the Emperor, as the past coming through, looks really good in terms of the energy around you, right? Having control and order out of chaos, getting your shit together, But again, there's just that little bit of feeling here that you don't want to be, too rigid. You don't want to be expressing your ideas in a way where people think that, it's your way or the highway, basically. And in the present, very nice, very, very nice, the Ten of Coins. So you have a good, strong foundation, and the financial aspects here between the two of them are fantastic. It's beautiful. For some of you, when you're looking at the Ten of Coins, first of all, it is talking about legacy. So that's where the family starts to come in. That and the Ten of Cups, you see family in those cards. For some of you, it may be working with family members here, but either way, the Ten of Coins in the present is saying that, you have that stable foundation. There's the suggestion of some financial backing, which is really good here. And, that may be what is helping you here with the Three of Coins being the overall for this. Because I still think that, for some of you, this is going to be new. Whether, again, it's a new project or a new job. But, again, you have a strong foundation to build off of here with the Ten of Coins. Okay, so future conditions, the Hangman. Now, again, the feeling there with, needing to not be so rigid kind of comes in with the Hangman, because it's telling you that you need to be open to seeing the different perspective, and not just for yourself, but, being able to see the world through other people's eyes as well. There's that part of the Hangman too, where you kind of have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. It is about self-sacrifice, but the sacrifice there when you're in that limbo is the ego. You have to put the ego aside in order to see the perspective of others and to see the world differently. But the Hangman too, is saying that you may be waiting. There may be like a waiting period here with the Three of Coins, and there may be kind of a halt because there isn't a lot of action with the Hangman. So there may be, this period of time here where there's still like a waiting thing going on where, you're not really sure on what decisions to make on moving forward just yet. But it doesn't look bad. But I do think that, you need to be open to the perspective of others. Oh, wow. Shit. Your best path to follow, death. Now, seeing this here is saying that you're moving from one phase of life to the next. An old way of doing things, an old way of living, an old way of being is over and done with. When you're seeing it as the best path to follow, it's saying don't cling on to that. And again, that's kind of where that energy of the Emperor is coming through. But, with death here, it is about the transformation as well. Life is changing for you in a very intense way here. And a lot of things are coming to a definite end and a close. You can either go through it kicking and screaming, or you can just accept it, right? But that being your best path to follow, wow. Being accepting of the changes and the endings. Ooh, in your environment. Oh, yeah. The Three of Swords. Now, when I see the Three of Swords as either the signifier, the past, the present, or in the environment, to me it suggests that, you already know what this is about. It's a little bit different when you're seeing it in future conditions because, it can be something that you may have to experience. But this being in your environment tells me that you already know what this is. The Three of Swords is heartbreak. It's heartbreak, it's separation, it is betrayal, but it's also bad thinking too, being the swords. Now, when you're looking at it in terms of the Three of Coins, it could have to do with a family situation that is coming to a close here with death. But there's still a lot of difficulty surrounding the situation. And I worry here with the Three of Swords being in the environment, and it's no wonder with the Hangman why there's this waiting period. And I think that, the best way to move forward here is if you're still wanting to work with somebody where there's been a lot of pain and difficulty, you can't be rigid in the way that you see things. Again, that's where the Hangman is coming in, needing to see things differently, especially when it comes to, a really painful situation. Because again, the Ten of Coins is suggesting that the foundation is strong. It's just, for some of you, you may be dealing with something that needs to be cleared up here, especially if you're working with somebody. I don't, I don't feel like this is an ending of, anything because of the Three of Coins being your signifier. I don't think that this is an absolute ending to any kind of a relationship with somebody, especially if it's somebody within the family. What I feel like around this, with it being in the position that it's in, is saying that this needs to be done now. The door on this needs to close. That is why it's there as your best path to follow. Whatever this Three of Swords is representing here, it's done. It's done. Things are changing now, but you have to be open to, the perspective of others. Your hopes and your fears, the Ace of Coins. Yeah, so definitely, if you're working with somebody here, the foundation is good. It may be a family member that you're dealing with. The Ace of Coins in your hopes is saying, hoping for that new, practical, real, and long-lasting beginning. And it looks good. As long as your focus is there, there is no reason why you can't manifest this. But there are things that need to be done with when you're looking at death. I mean, I'm looking at them right here and going, yeah, because it's almost like, right, the foundation. The foundation should not be built on this. You know, you need to be open to the perspective of others. The door needs to close on these things here, and there needs to be that new beginning. And there it is. You know, it's right there. You know, and with natural and growth, just looking at all of this, you know, you're being a little bit more truer to yourself, but then also, you know, growing through the experience. Because, you know, even though that Three of Swords is there in your environment, for some reason, I don't feel like it's, you know, this really bad, horrible, awful, you know, thing. It's just something that's there that needs to be like over with in a major way. And I think it's going to it's calling on you, you know, to, again, be open to the perspective of others. Don't be so rigid in the way that you see things with the Emperor coming through. You know, especially if you're looking to continue working with somebody. But that new beginning is there, and it looks good. Ah, wow. And then the outcome, the Hierophant. That to me is good. I feel like, you know, when you're looking at the Emperor and you're looking at the Hierophant on top, yeah, it is talking about conformity, absolutely. But I don't think that that's the case here. I really think that with the Emperor, or with the Hierophant, it's more of, you know, a grounded spiritual understanding, you know. But then not only that, teaching by example, you know, and that may be where the difficulty is coming in. You know, it may be you, it may be the other person, but somebody here is seeing something from a rigid point of view. And that is where the Hangman is coming through. And it's almost like, you know, if you're willing to continue working with somebody who's been extremely difficult, it's like you're showing them, look, you know, there is a different way to see things here, you know. And then that's where that spiritual understanding comes through, not just for the other person, but for you as well. Because I do think that this has to do with somebody that you're working with. Now, you know, for some of you, there may be, you know, really difficult situations here with work. You know, things still look really good, but maybe the way to move forward here is to close the door on things that, you know, have caused upset with the Three of Swords, right? Needing to see things differently and then moving into a better spiritual understanding. Either way, the Hierophant and the Ace of Coins is perfect. You know? And again, that Three of Swords, it's like, you know what that is. It's there. It's right there in your environment right now. But it's not something that you can't get past. You know, I think that, especially with the Ace of Coins and the Hierophant, you're looking at it in a more realistic, like practical sense here. You know, and looking at how to move forward from it. But Death is saying that it needs to be over with now. It's definitely done with. There's no reason for it to still continue to be in your environment, basically. But I do like the energy of the Hierophant coming out here. You know, I don't feel like you're being forced to conform. You know, I feel like, you know, again, and that's mainly because of the Hangman sitting there. You know, getting that better understanding by seeing that different perspective. All right, Aquarius, we're going to take a look at the soul trees and see what other messages we can get for you guys. But, you know, I get the sense that you are the one that is kind of like being, you know, the bigger person here, right? Because of the Three of Coins and then seeing the Hangman. And celebration, very nice. So, you know, with the Three of Swords too, it is about getting to the heart of the matter and moving forward with forgiveness. But, you know, the forgiveness is more on your end than it is forgiving other people. But risk, right? You're taking a risk here. But it's like with the crown chakra open, you know, that information is flowing to you directly from source. You know, and again, that's where I kind of feel like, you know, you're getting that spiritual understanding. And it's going to be a situation here where there's going to be a cause for celebration. It's beautiful. It's perfect. But wow, Wow, with the crown chakra, I always get blown away when that one shows up because that to me is saying that, it's one thing when the third eye is opening, but when you're getting information directly from source that is leading you to celebration, that's pretty amazing and it's beautiful. It may be a risk here to continue to work with somebody that you've had difficulties with, but it's like you have a better understanding. And it's like, I do feel like you are teaching them the way, but it ultimately leads to celebration, which is perfect. All right, Aquarius, we're going to take a look at Whispers of Love to see what messages we can get for you guys in terms of attracting love into your life. I knew you guys aren't the only ones to get this. So express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. When you're doing this and you're expressing your love to somebody else, when you give those gifts and it's something of significance that shows that you know who they are, that is going to be like, the power behind it, right? Be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. Beautiful card. I love that one. So definitely, especially with the crown chakra open, right? Being open to dreaming of what the future is going to hold, but still being in the present moment. It's a beautiful reading, Aquarius. I love where you come out here and whatever difficulties are in your environment, the way that you handle it is beautiful. It's beautiful. But I do really believe, though, that for you, it's not just you, but, if you're working with other people too, there needs to be an openness here to see things from the other person's eyes, and the door does need to close on this difficult situation here with the Three of Swords. But where you move out here to with the Hierophant looks perfect. Okay, Aquarius, so I do think that this is going to have to do with you working with somebody. Looking at the Three of Coins as your signifier here, but what worries me is the Three of Swords in your environment. Now, you know what this is. Your foundation looks fantastic here with the Ten of Coins. But I really do think that, you come in with the Emperor and there's like this rigid feeling, right? I mean, again, you don't want to be like it's my way or the highway. Because the Hangman is saying that there is a need for you to see things in a different perspective. But then not only that, but the people around you as well. And whatever that Three of Swords is, Death is saying it's over with now, and it should be over with. Like your foundation should not be continued to be built on top of that, basically. So that's over with. It's over and it's done with now. And I do think that you are moving into a spot here where you're looking at a new beginning, but you're also looking at a better understanding. And it looks really good. And I don't think, that for some of you, this could be a family situation. It could just be people that you're working with. If it's a relationship, there is a need to close the door on that heartbreak. The foundation is so good that there's no reason why that should still be there. And I think you're moving forward in a better spot here, and you're being true to yourself, but you're growing through your experiences, which is what I love about this. And I still kind of get the feeling that you are the one that's like being the better person about the situation, especially if you're working with somebody who's consistently like bringing this up, because again, it should be done. It should be done and over with now, right? Now, as far as the soul trees go, these are pretty amazing here. Risk. It's going to be a risk to continue to do this and put forth the effort. But the thing is, with the crown chakra being open here and getting that better spiritual understanding, right, it's going to lead to celebration. And it'll lead to those things completing itself out. There's no reason why that should still be there. And I think it's been over and done with. It's just going to be up to you to finally close the door on it. But it's not just you. It's going to be the other person here too, or, whatever the situation is. You're going to have to see things from a different perspective. If you're dealing with a person, they're going to have to see it through a different perspective. But whatever the situation is here, whether it's family, work, relationships, you come out in a better spot. You or the other person you're dealing with does, not need to carry this feeling here of the Emperor and being so rigid on how they see things, you know. But I think that you're the one that's being the better person about this. Now, in terms of Whispers of Love, be in the present moment but dream of the future, I love that card. And I think it's perfect for you guys, right? Anything is possible. But it's so important to stay in the present moment and, you know, enjoy those experiences and then express love through gifts. It's so important that the people that you love know that you actually know them and you care about them. And the best way to do that is just like those small gifts, right? You know, and the gift that I think that you're giving to somebody else here is, you know, a better understanding, like, you know, more wisdom. And again, teaching by example here. And it looks really good where you're coming out. And I do think that, you know, it's worth you continuing to put forth the effort here, even though you may feel like it's a risk to continue to do it.